Does Canada want to be United States of America?
Canadians over the holidays, the last 2 days, have been talking about this. They want to hear more. Think about the power of combining the two economies, erasing the border between Canada and the United States, and putting all that resource up to the northern borders where China and Russia are knocking on the door. So secure that, give a common currency, figure out taxes across the board, get everything trading both ways, create a new, almost EU-like passport. I like this idea, and at least half of Canadians are interested.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Right Point of View YouTube channel with your favorite host, Ashley, and I am back with another video, and this one is a doozy. I have been watching over the last week or so the back and forth of Donald J. Trump and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada. What a loser that guy is. There's some drama going around. I think he's about to finally be forced out of his seat. I am praying for Canadians right now, okay? Because what a mess he's created. And anyway, we're going to get right into it. I have a whole bunch of stuff to show you, and let's jump right in.
That's not the only person showing up at Mar-a-Lago. Two top Canadian cabinet members are meeting with Trump's team and border czar Tom Homan today. They aim to hammer out a border security plan that Canada hopes will ward off Trump's threats to impose economically damaging tariffs on imports. Homan is telling Fox that Canada is, quote, ready to go on immigration enforcement, and Trump himself has made it clear where he stands.
Essentially, we're paying Canada, and we love Canada. I have so many friends. I love Canada. I love it. But why are we spending $150 billion on Canada? Yet Canada allows people and drugs to flood in through our northern border.
All right, so Canadians want to join forces with Americans? So while I am probably one of those Canadians, probably not true. They are very proud Canadians. And honestly, the sentiment with Canadians in general is they actually don't really like too much of American behavior. We're as a whole, a very conservative country, even though it seems so liberal, because it really is in terms of policy. And that's largely due to Justin Trudeau. But Canadians to their core are actually very conservative people. They're not big spenders. They don't really care for you have some parts, the exception to the rule, but for the most part, very conservative, not big spenders, not big flashy types of lifestyles. They're very reserved, very frugal. You have so many companies that will come to the US and are shut down within a year, not just because of taxation and all of the stupid policy that's in place, because Canadians are kind of creatures of behavior. If you're a Target and every Canadian's going to Walmart, it's highly unlikely they're just going to switch. You have the odd few that will even travel to the US for some of those stores. I know plenty of Canadians that will take a day trip to Buffalo for some of your snacks and your knickknacks and your this and your that. But ultimately, Canadians are super proud to be Canadian, and as they should be. Canada is a great country. And yes, it's like the cousin to Americans. You find that they do follow quite a bit in Americans' footsteps, right? We're not nearly as progressive and as advanced in terms of technology and business and just the direction of the world. Even our global contribution is like almost non-existent. So it's the bigger question. What is Canada doing? You know what I mean? We have a prime minister that seems to be more concerned with climate change.
Canadians have decided that price on pollution is the right thing. We've won multiple elections on that because Canadians know that the only way to build a strong economy is to fight climate change at the same time. The Leader of the Opposition doesn't get that, doesn't accept that, doesn't understand that abandoning the fight against climate change would hurt Canadians, would hurt our institutions, would hurt people and economic growth right across the country.
And gay rights and gender ideologies.
What would you like your government's legacy on LGBT issues to be?
To get it to a point when we have an LGBT prime minister and nobody notices. I think just understanding that this is a trend line we're on, that we still have more work to do. But I think if the legacy is us anchoring Canada as a place of openness and respect and defense of everyone's rights, then that'll be a good one.
Then he is lowering taxes for Canadians, drilling for oil, because might I add, Canada is one of the richest. I think it falls third. Somebody fact check that for me. I think it falls third in terms of the richest country for natural resources. And we're doing nothing with it. Instead, our government taxes Canadians into oblivion while they keep lining their pockets, getting richer and richer, and nothing changes for Canadians.
Federal tax hikes from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in 2025. Payroll taxes up, carbon taxes up, alcohol taxes, you guessed it, also going up. So the payroll taxes in 2025 will increase by up to $403. So let's say you're a worker making $81,200 or more next year. Well, your total payroll tax bill in 2025 will be about $5,500. Your employer will also have to fork up $5,900. So Trudeau taking more money out of your pocket again in 2025. Carbon tax also going up. Trudeau is yet again cranking up his favorite tax on April 1 of 2025. On April 1, the carbon tax will cost about 21 cents per liter of gasoline, 25 cents per liter of diesel, and 18 cents per cubic meter of natural gas. And before the government starts shrieking, what about the rebates? What about the rebates? Well, the parliamentary budget officer, the government's own independent budget watchdog, has once again shown that the carbon tax is costing average families hundreds of dollars more than they get back in rebates. In fact, the carbon tax will cost the average family up to $477 more in 2025 than they get back in rebates. And some more bad news. The government also charges its sales tax on top of the carbon tax. So this carbon tax on tax will cost Canadians about $500 million next year, and the government doesn't even pretend to rebate that carbon tax on tax money back to you.
And I think that the idea that Canadians want to become Americans is actually speaking to a bigger problem. Canadians are fed up. They are tired of the shitty policy. They are tired of the overreaching government. They are tired of being taxed on taxed on taxed. They are tired of being told what to believe, how they can practice their beliefs. There are some parts of Canada where it could be deemed a crime for you to read the Bible aloud. It's absolutely diabolical, okay? Churches are being burned. Meanwhile, they're giving surgery for gender changes to kids who shouldn't have it, paid by taxpayer dollars. And there are, government is supposed to be in favor of the majority, but this government has its own agenda and is doing what it wants to do. And we got to save Canada, y'all. We really do. But let's dive back into this and see what the Five has to say about this merger, which I think will never happen, obviously. We got the queen on our dollar bill. You know what I mean? Crown land. She owns everything. So probably, well, I was going to say over her dead body, which has kind of happened already. So I don't know, maybe. But I highly doubt it. But let's check it out.
So I caught your face as I was talking, and it wasn't just because I called Kevin O'Leary Ken. What do you think about this merger idea, Tyrus?
I think both of his watches are broken. Okay, there's no 50% of Canadians willing to give up Canada. I mean, that's their country. That'd be like 50% of Americans being like, oh yeah, we want to join the other side. It almost sounds like a promotional stunt for a TV show. I think the Canadian government is paying attention because President Trump is putting tariffs. He's trolling them. He's having a good time with it. And maybe Mr. Wonderful is trying to get in on it. But 50%, I'd love to see the poll. Like, you know, it's just, it goes back to what this administration is trying to do is not a laughing matter. President Trump is putting his foot down and he's using tariffs to get them to come to the table. I think there's a huge conservative presence in Canada, but we haven't seen it for a long time. And let's be honest, if Canada became a country that will play along with this game, okay, it would be, they're one of the most liberal countries, which means the 2 Senate seats that they would have would make Jessica's day because they would both be liberal and would lose the Senate. So thank you, no. We're
That's facts. Honestly, I don't know when we became so liberal, but, well, I do. Justin Trudeau, he's the culprit. And there is something he's missing, though, in saying, like, oh, I'd like to see that poll. Canadians have been suffering a long time now under this current Canadian Prime Minister. And what it speaks to is how badly Canadians are begging for change. And nobody's listening. And honestly, Trump coming into office, like there was a clip of Justin Trudeau making the Trump win. Well, I guess some American talking heads have made the same point. But he said, I'm still a feminist and blah, blah, blah. And I can't believe they turned their back on a woman.
We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Like, bro, get out of here. Like, he's so out of touch even with his own country. But I think this whole show we're watching, this theater between Trudeau and Trump and the tariffs and the tariffs, while would really suck for Canadians, is exactly what Trump should be doing for Americans. And who can wrong him? He's putting America first, which is exactly what Trudeau should be doing. Instead, he's just trying to downplay the win of Trump, talk about how America's so behind in progression, when it's like, pipe down, bro. You're a little too ahead of yourself. Most Canadians don't agree with half of the policy that he puts in place, but they also are so nice that they aren't willing to be as outspoken as you see a lot of Americans doing when they have some grievances with their government. And that's literally the culture we're in right now. American politics has changed the trajectory for a lot of people, especially in Canada. People are starting to speak out. They are starting to see how a polarizing leader like Donald J. Trump can change the game. He represents to Canadians what a leader should look like. And that's the reason why, if any, a Canadian would be willing to throw in the towel for Canada and just say, let's join forces, because they are suffering. House prices have gone up like 300% over the last 8 years. Minimum wage is not a livable wage anymore. Immigration is completely out of whack, and all love and power to the Indian nation, but they have taken over Canada.
Like, share kari chalo. Please everybody like, share, tap. Everybody like, share. This is our country. We are owner of Canada. We are proud Canadian. Like, share, everybody, like, share.
And seem to be unwilling to adopt the culture or even conform to the culture and rules and try to learn it, to figure it out, to be one with Canada. Instead, they're honestly doing what they want to do. And our government is not protecting the Canadians. You know what I mean? So Trump has been a breath of fresh air for everybody watching and wanting change in their own country. And I just think that him mocking Prime Minister Trudeau and doing the things that Donald Trump has been doing since lately is a prime example of how you really stick it to other countries. Biden and Trudeau seem like best of friends. Neither of them want to drill. Both of them want to pump this climate change, and they want you, the American or the Canadian, to pay for it. Trump saying, drill, baby, drill. Let's start charging the people we need to be charging, our foreign allies, all these people that we do trades with. We need to start billing them in the manner in which they should be billed, because it's costing American business, it's costing American income, it's costing American everything. So America First agenda is exactly what Canadians want from their prime minister, and they are just not getting that right now. So all in all, do I think Canadians want to be America? Not necessarily. I'm with this guy on that sense, like the polls probably wouldn't reflect that. However, do Canadians really want and need some change immediately? Yes, they do. And it seems like they might get it sooner than later. Our political parties have been calling for his resignation, and it is well overdue. And I hope that it starts to happen sooner than later. This guy has his head so far up his own ass that he won't just leave. Just leave. If you care anything about Canadians, you will just go. So with that all being said, I think you, Americans at home watching this, should be extremely proud of your incoming leader. I know that for some, it was a hard pill to swallow. People think he's a threat to democracy. He's this, he's that. But I think we've seen now, most of the people who were saying that were blowing smoke in your face. It's literally not the case. So many of us are so confident in the leadership of where Trump will take the country and the world to follow. And that is something to be proud of. He is a MAGA. I'm a MAGA. I am, I swear. But nonetheless, I love you guys so much. That'll be it for this video. Hopefully, you have some understanding of the minds of Canadians after this, because even though we do follow in the American footsteps quite often, I think Canada is very comfortable being Canada. They just want a leader that cares about them as well. And Trudeau is not it. Pierre Poilievre. Y'all check out this clip from Pierre Poilievre. He is the conservative leader. We actually call him our Donald Trump. Take a look at him.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay. I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given, not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
How funny is that page? What page? What page do you speak of? Anyways, I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon.